All right, hello and welcome to this training. As you can see from the title, what we're going to be covering today is how to use your mind like a weapon. And as you can see from the overview, what we're going to be talking about more specifically is first the overview itself, the unconscious mind, the weaponized mind, the shift, the review, and your action items for the day or the next few days. Now, before we get started, if you want to work with me one-on-one, make sure to book a call from the link in the description. We'll help you get clear on exactly what to do next in every aspect of your life in order to improve every aspect of your life, meaning health, wealth, love, and self. So again, if you're interested in something like that, make sure to book a call from the link in the description. With that said, let's get started and discuss the unconscious mind. So most people go through life letting their mind essentially run them. Thoughts pop up and they react, emotions flood and they obey. A negative idea crosses their mind and they just accept it as real without ever questioning where it really came from or whether it's even true. They live in a constant state of reaction, bouncing between whatever stimulus shows up next, and they call that living. Now, the average person has tens of thousands of thoughts per day, and the overwhelming majority are recycled from yesterday, meaning you have the same thoughts almost every single day, same worries, same doubts, same internal monologue on repeat. And none of it was really chosen. And that repetition creates a default state, essentially a baseline mood, a baseline expectation, a baseline way of interpreting the world. And it runs automatically without any input from you. And the scariest part is that most people don't even notice it happening. The autopilot is so familiar, it feels like their consciousness, it feels like thinking, and it's actually just a pattern playback. So emotional states become something people experience the way they experience weather. It's just something that happens to them. They wake up anxious and they assume the anxiety is caused by their circumstances. They feel unmotivated and figure something external needs to change before the feeling will change. And this turns every person into essentially a victim of their own mind, of their own internal state. If you can't choose how you feel, you're at the mercy of every passing thought and every external trigger for the rest of your life. And then they reach for something to fix the feeling. A motivational video, a distraction, a purchase, some doom scrolling here and there, something to manage a state they never learned to control directly. So that management becomes a cycle in itself. You feel bad, you consume something, you feel better temporarily, and you feel bad again. The underlying pattern never changes. You're just essentially working on a symptom and never on the root of the issue. And while all of that is happening, the mind is shaping everything you experience all the time without you realizing it. You think you're seeing the world as it exists objectively, but in reality, you're actually seeing a version of the world that your perceptions and interpretations assembled for you. Two people in the exact same situation will perceive completely different realities depending on what's happening inside their heads. So your brain takes in millions of data points every second and deletes most of them. And what's left is really a tiny filtered slice of reality that your beliefs have flagged as relevant. So the world you're experiencing is always a partial picture curated by your own assumptions. Now, opportunities, connections, and ideas that don't match your current belief system will immediately get filtered out entirely. You literally walk past them without seeing them. And what you call your reality is really a constructed experience. It's a personal, filtered, and heavily edited version of reality by the beliefs you probably didn't choose. So, on top of the filtering, your mind interprets everything through an emotional lens. So, the same email can feel like a threat or an opportunity depending on the state in which you read it. The same feedback can feel like an attack or a gift. So, most people don't realize how much of their experience is interpretation layered on top of raw data. The raw data is usually neutral. The meaning is almost always added by you. And the fact that it's added by you means it can be changed by you. That's the first crack in the wall. If your experience of reality is shaped by your internal state, then shifting your internal state literally shifts what's real for you. This is why working on your mindset is so important. Now, the hermetic tradition put it simply thousands of years ago. The all is mind. The universe is mental. It was a description of how this actually works. So living with an unmanaged mind has a very specific cost, and most people are paying it without realizing what it's taking from them. The cost shows up in every area: relationships that mirror their own internal conflict, income that matches their own internal sense of worth, energy levels that reflect their own thoughts, health that reflects their internal stress. Your external results are always a lagging indicator of your internal state. Always. There's no exception to this. Whatever you're experiencing right now is feedback about what's been running in the background of your mind for months and maybe years. So the delay between internal changes and external changes is what confuses people. They change a belief today and they expect results tomorrow, but the mirror takes time to update, but it always updates. Years of unchecked thought patterns accumulate into a life that feels stuck. And the stuckness isn't really caused by circumstances. It's caused by the mental state that's been generating those circumstances. So an untrained mind bleeds energy constantly. Worry bleeds energy. Doubt bleeds energy. Indecision, rumination, replaying past events, imagining worst case scenarios, all of it is a constant drain on the one resource you actually need to build anything meaningful. So most people are running at a fraction of their capacity, not from lack of ability, but because their mind is hemorrhaging energy into thoughts that produce nothing. So learning to direct your mind will reclaim all of that. And the difference in output, clarity, and momentum is humongous. The ability was always there. It's the energy that was just being wasted. So with that said, let's actually discuss what it means to have a weaponized mind. So once you learn to direct your mind deliberately, everything will change for you. You'll stop waking up at the mercy of whatever thought shows up, and you'll choose your state instead. You'll decide what frequency you're going to operate on that day, and then you'll hold it. And from there, the whole day will start to organize itself around that one decision. So the first few minutes of your day will stop being reactive. You won't be scrolling and you won't be checking. You'll be calibrating instead, setting the internal tone before the external world starts throwing inputs at you. And that one small change in how you begin will end up reshaping the whole rhythm of your morning and, to be honest, your day and week and months. And that tone will bleed into everything that follows. Your conversations, your decisions, your creative output, all of them will carry the frequency you set in those first deliberate minutes. And you'll start to notice how much of your day was actually getting decided before it even really began. Now, one intentional morning will feel small on its own, but 30 of them in a row will start to change the actual trajectory of your year and maybe even life. And once you watch that compounding happen, you'll never look at a single morning the same way again. Your actions will become precise once this is running. So you won't be scattered across 15 tasks hoping something sticks anymore. You'll know exactly what matters and you'll move towards it without the usual internal negotiation that eats up half the day. And that alone will hand you back hours you didn't even know you were losing. Clarity of thought will produce clarity of action for you. And that clarity of action will produce results that scattered effort never could. So the cleaner your thinking gets, the cleaner your output becomes right alongside it. So again, if you need help with gaining clarity in any aspect of your life, make sure to book a call. Now, what used to take you 8 chaotic hours will start getting done in 3 focused ones. And the work itself won't have changed at all. The mind behind it will have, and that's the whole difference you'll feel. And then there's something that will happen once you're operating from a directed mental state, something that's hard to explain, but impossible to miss. People will start responding to you very differently. Your conversations will go deeper and your opportunities will show up faster than they used to. The timing of things will start feeling almost suspicious to you. Everything is vibrating, your thoughts and your emotions and your energy all included. And like frequencies attract each other. So once you start broadcasting clarity, certainty, and purpose, the people and situations that match that frequency will start finding you without you ever having to chase them down. Because you're now using the mirror to your advantage. You'll stop chasing things the way you used to, and they'll start moving towards you. And all that effort you once poured into pursuit will get redirected into creation. Now, most people who used to overlook you will start paying attention. Rooms will feel different when you walk into them. You'll simply be broadcasting something completely different now, and the world will pick up on it whether it means to or not. And the effects will compound on you over time because a directed mind won't just produce better results in the moment. It will compound clarity, confidence, and capability week over week until the gap between where you started and where you'll end up becomes genuinely hard to believe. And after a few months of this, you'll look back at who you used to be and it will feel like a completely different person, because the gap between the untrained mind and the trained mind is really that large. And you won't fully believe it until you're standing on the other side of it. And your results will start accelerating in a way that surprises you. Things that used to take years will now start collapsing into months, and you won't have found any secret sauce or secret shortcut either. You'll just have removed the drag that was quietly slowing everything down. So a trained mind will also give you something you can't get any other way, a real immunity to external chaos. The world will still happen around you, people will still disappoint you, markets will still shift, plans will still fail, but your internal state will stay stable through all of it. Zen-like. The old reaction pattern will finally break and you'll start responding to life deliberately instead of reacting to it. And you'll become anchored in something internal. Your peace, your confidence, your sense of direction will all start coming from inside the system rather than from outside of it. And once that's the case, nothing external will be able to take it from you. And this is what people mean when they talk about being unshakable. It won't mean you feel nothing at all. It will mean your feelings no longer get to control your behavior the way they once did. And you'll own your state completely. Nobody else will get to set your thermostat for you. And that kind of sovereignty will change how you move through every single area of your life. In practical terms, this will hand you a massive competitive advantage because when people around you are panicking or reacting or spiraling, you'll be the calm one. You'll see clearly and you'll make better decisions under pressure. And the people around you will notice that almost immediately. Calm and chaos will build trust faster than any credential ever could, and people will follow a composed person instinctively, almost without thinking about why. And that's the kind of pull no resume will ever buy you. And this will become the foundation of real leadership for you. You'll learn to manage your own mind first before ever trying to influence anyone else's. And that order, your mind before theirs, will be what makes the influence actually hold. So with that said, let's actually talk about how do you achieve this, the shift. So the first step is learning to separate yourself from your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You're the one observing them. Right now, most of your thoughts happen to you, right? You don't choose them. They show up and you identify with them immediately. And there's a massive difference between being anxious and noticing that a thought about anxiety just passed through. This is where we're trying to get. We're just trying to understand, to see our own thoughts. The first one, the first type, which is being anxious, owns you. The second one, which is noticing that a thought about anxiety just passed through, that gives you a choice. And creating that small gap of distance between you and the thought will give you something you didn't have before. You'll have the ability to choose whether to engage with the thought or just let it pass. And a side tip here, an easier way to do this is to literally try to visualize the thought as some kind of a ball in front of you, like a glowing ball, for example, or something. It could be the text itself of the thought, of what the thought says in front of you. And by doing that, you're essentially creating separation between you and that thought. This will take practice. So start by noticing one thought per day that you would normally react to, and instead of reacting, just observe it. Watch it exist without attaching to it. That's the beginning. Now, the more you practice, the less you'll identify with your mental noise, because you don't have to identify with it. Worry will stop feeling like truth, and you'll see it as a pattern. Doubt will stop feeling like insight, and you'll start seeing it as an old program running in the background. So the internal volume will turn down. The noise won't disappear completely, but it will lose its authority. So you'll still hear the old voice, but you'll stop obeying it. And in that quiet space, something else will show up, a deeper knowing, the other self, quote unquote, a steadier voice, the one that was always there underneath the noise, just waiting for enough silence to finally be heard. So once you can observe your thoughts without being controlled by them, the next step is really learning to direct them. You start choosing what you think about deliberately, and you choose beliefs intentionally based on where you want to go. Every belief you hold is a command that your brain acts on. So you start selecting commands that point towards what you actually want. If the old belief says money is hard to earn, and you want to earn money, then you replace it. Why would you even want to believe that, right? If the old program says you're not the kind of person who succeeds at that level, then you overwrite it, because why would you even want to believe that? The new belief won't feel true at first, and that's fine. You essentially have to lie to yourself for a while. Truth is built through repetition and emotion and evidence. So say it enough, feel it enough, collect enough evidence for it, and the brain accepts it. Feed the new belief with attention and starve the old one by refusing to rehearse it. Your mind grows whatever you water. So the fastest way to lock in a new mental direction is through emotion. Logic alone doesn't require anything, right? You have to feel the new state in your body. What does the version of you who already has what you want feel like? Drop into that sensation, drop into that state. Breathe from it, move from it, take action from it. Your emotional state is the bridge between thought and reality. So if you change the state and the thoughts and actions and results, they will reorganize around it. So use music, movement, environment, or ritual to anchor yourself into the new state daily. The more often you access it, the more it becomes your default operating frequency, and look for evidence and proof that it's true every single day, and write them down somewhere. And this is where the mind stops being a background process and becomes the most powerful tool you own, which it always has been, by the way. You use your thoughts to set the direction, you use your emotions to lock in the frequency, and you use your attention to filter for what supports the new reality, for the evidence that supports the new reality. And you use your actions to obviously confirm the new reality, to confirm the new identity in the physical world. All four layers have to be aligned: thought, emotion, attention, and action. If one is pointing in a different direction, the system loses power. So when all four are aimed at the same target, though, the results will come fast and they'll feel almost effortless. And this is congruence. And congruence is really the difference between people who grind for years with nothing to show for it and people who seem to attract everything with ease. Same effort, different alignment. And the more congruent you become, the faster reality will respond. Time will compress. What used to take years will be able to happen in months. And the deepest level of this shift is really realizing you are always doing this. You are always using your mind to create your reality. You are just doing it unconsciously. Every fearful thought was a command. Every doubt is a direction. Every worry is an instruction being sent out. So now you take that same power and you point it somewhere worth going, deliberately and relentlessly. And that's what it means to really use your mind like a weapon. Not against anything, for something, for the version of your life you've been imagining but never gave yourself full permission to command into existence. With that said, let's cover the review. So we covered the overview, the unconscious mind, the weaponized mind, how to go from the unconscious to the weaponized, meaning the shift, the review, and your action items for the day or the next few days. First, spend one day watching your thoughts without engaging. Notice the patterns, the loops, the default narratives that play on repeat. Don't judge them, don't fix them, just see them for what they are, which is programs running on autopilot. Then choose one belief that points where you actually want to go, and then say it daily with genuine emotion behind it. Feel it physically, and every time the old pattern tries to run, redirect your attention to the new one. Repetition is what wins the game. And then finally, pick one area of your life where your thoughts, emotions, and actions are pointing in different directions. Fix the misalignment, get all three aiming at the same target, and that single act of congruence will produce more results than months of scattered effort. With that said, once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one, and if you want to get clarity on exactly what to do in every area of your life, meaning health, wealth, love, and self, whichever one you want to improve, then make sure to book a call from the link in the description. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, let me know. And thank you for being here. Thank you for the support, and I'll see you in the next one.